Welcome to my first final thoughts slash review. First game I'm going to do is The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Now I beat this game recently. Uh, it was a good game. It was a good game. I really enjoyed it. But I'm gonna try and do this as well as I can. This is my first time ever doing one of these final game reviews. Never done one before, so if it doesn't come out exactly how people usually do it, like, bear with me. I'm still learning. Um, so a little bit about Legend of Zelda. We start off, I think it's like 5 years after Breath of the Wild. Link and Zelda are exploring. They find a tomb underneath Hyrule Castle, which is emitting darkness, and they go to see how they could stop it. And that's where the whole story begins. And they they awaken an ancient evil, and then Link has to go and find Zelda to destroy it. Basically, same plot premise as the first one, except you get a little different help. In this one, you meet new characters. There are new powers that Link has that are available to him, which I will go through a couple of them later. And yeah, I'm not gonna do a whole lot about the powers. I don't want to spoil anything in this, so that's why the basic story is not a whole lot because I don't want to spoil it for people. I'll give my thoughts about whether or not you should play the game at the end. So you have Hyrule in this game. A little bit about the areas that you're going to be delving into. You have Hyrule, which in the last game, you know how it looks. You have, you know, the desert, the winter area, the volcano area. You have like the jungle, and then you have the forest of Hyrule in around the middle. Um, you get to explore that, but what's cool about this game is they also let you go to two other areas. So you start off at the beginning of this game in the sky. So there's sky islands that you can go to and explore. And the exploration in this game, just like the last one, is excellent. But also you have an underground area that is complete darkness that you have to open up. So you explore these three different areas, which gives you a pretty big map and a lot to explore, a lot of different things to find. Now, I didn't explore everything. I didn't 100% the game, but I did complete the story and a lot of the side quest. Um, and the areas that you go into are just breathtaking. They definitely did they definitely took their time on this game and definitely wanted it to be a masterpiece, which it's beautiful. Um, so a little bit about the game before we get into combat and gameplay thoughts and character thoughts and all that. Um, the game, of course, was developed by Nintendo, but the director was Hidemaro Fubiyashi, who also did a couple other Zelda games. Um, Known for Oracle Seasons, Four Swords, Minish Cap, Phantom Hourglass, Skyward Sword. Um, Worked on Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity, but they were the director for a lot of other Zelda games. Um, the producer was Enji Anuma, which I'm sorry if I'm saying all your guys' names wrong. Um, the music in this game was great. There's one, two, three, four, yeah, four composers for this game. I'm gonna butcher their names, so I apologize, but I think that they deserve credit. Um, Monica Manaka, Kotoka, Masa Miyoshi, Masato Ohashi, and uh, Tsukasa Usia. Yeah, I'm terrible with names, but great music in this game. The composers did a great job. The artist did a great job. The artist was Satoru Takazawa. Um, yeah, just fantastic all around how much love they put into this game. Um, and we thank them for it because it was a very fun game. All right, let's get into combat and my thoughts on the gameplay. So the combat is almost exactly like uh, Breath of the Wild. You still have the swords that break. You still have the arrow or the bows that break, which is a little frustrating. But you're constantly finding new stuff, and with some of the new powers that you get, it doesn't really affect it that much because you can make all your weapons better and more powerful. The gameplay is a lot this is very similar, other than like the new powers that you get. Um, Overall, gameplay and combat was excellent. They made harder bosses that you come into contact with in the game. Um, I'm sure we all remember the Lionels in the last game, still just as hard in this one. And not only do you have them above ground, but you also have them below ground. And there's also new enemies that I'm not going to spoil for you, but you can find them in the sky on plateaus. Um, you find one pretty early on in the game, but the combat with them is pretty fun and can be challenging. Pretty much all the combat in here can be challenging, or it can be you have to think about it sometimes what you're doing. Even with, I think I had weapons that were pretty powerful by the end, and I still had troubles with some enemies. Um, Gameplay thoughts. The gameplay, I couldn't find any fault with it. Like, it was overall a pretty well done game, gameplay wise. I never had a problem with any of the gameplay, any of the combat. I did have a problem with some stuff, but I'll be going over that at the end of everything after I give my closing thoughts. Um, I'll do a spoiler warning, so if you don't want to listen to that at the end, just know now I'm gonna leave a couple seconds at the end and let you know that it's gonna be spoilers. Um, so as for the weapons themselves, weapons were a lot of fun. You can create a lot of weapons. We've all seen in the trailers and at some of the shows and stuff that Link has an ability to merge weapons now, or merge stuff on his weapons. Very fun. I got a lot of monster parts in the game, and I would use those as part of my weapon, and it was kind of cool because then Link gets like a katana and a better spear that does instead of it doing 8 damage, it does 40 damage. Like, I wasn't a big fan of the heavy weapons, but they are there, and they raise heavier weapons. Of course, get more damage, but you're slower. Um, it's a lot of fun. People have been figuring out a lot of cool things with the powers and the weapons. I mean, you don't even need to use a weapon really because let's face it, like you can create later on with the power to merge stuff that just kicks the crap out of things. I never did that. I personally like going about fighting my own fights, uh, not having something else do it for me, which can be more difficult. Um, but I also like using swords and stuff and doing that. The fights probably could have been easier though if I would have used the powers more. They do make you use like all the powers. I'm only going to bring up the ones that they've shown in the trailers and stuff like that, which is the merge ability and then being able to like make things. They are very interesting. But people are making mechs. People are making like rockets to shoot at enemies. I mean, I'm sure you've seen it. It's crazy how inventive people can be, and that Nintendo is allowing it. Um, is really cool, and they didn't have to like let all that happen, I guess, but they did. They wanted you to figure out how to make the game easier for you based off the powers that you were given, which makes the exploration and everything all the more fun. Um, yeah, I don't know what else I can say about the powers and the thought, like the weapons. They're same thing as same weapons that you had in Breath of the Wild, but you can be more inventive with them. You can create and do more of what you want with them to make the game the way that you want it, which is excellent. And that freedom in the game lets you just go through it the way that you want to do it. Like nobody's going to go through this game the same. The end goal, the end of the game, the finish of the game is going to be the same. But how you went about going to that, what road you took to get there is going to be completely different from your friends. So that in itself is excellent. Um yeah, I don't think these are going to be very long. But my closing thoughts are this game's worth playing. It's worth the $60 that it cost, or $70 that it cost. It's worth. You're gonna find. I mean, you're gonna find. I'd say 40 to 200 hours worth of fun in this game, depending on how much you like exploration. It has a okay story. Um, I'll get into more about how I felt about the story after my closing thoughts because there are some spoiler stuff that I would talk about. Um, and overall, like Nintendo, what a great job! You know, you chose the right director, you chose the right team. They created an excellent game that I have a feeling is going to be around for a long time till the next Zelda. And from what we've heard, the next Zelda will be like this one. So hopefully they bring a new Hero of Time in for the next one. It's not a continuation of this one. Um, but even if they did, I don't think anybody would mind. It's literally, if I had to give it a score, it's a 10. There are things that I got frustrated about. There are things that I didn't like about it, but even I can't say that this game is not a masterpiece the way that it was put together. So, yeah, I would definitely recommend people to pick it up. I would definitely recommend playing it. But I would recommend, if you are going to play it, take your time. Don't worry about how long it takes to beat it. Explore, have fun, see the world. Um, I was more interested in the story because I like story games. But I did explore a lot. I spent a lot of time opening things up before I went to go beat the game. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I would definitely suggest take your time, have fun. That's what this game's for, is for you to go out and explore and find your own adventures that you can tell people about and be like, oh my gosh, look, I did this and it was so cool. And your friends will be like, oh yeah, I had that too, but I did it this way. So, like I said, have a blast. Enjoy the time that you spend on this game. And with that, that is my final thoughts on Zelda Tears of the Kingdom for the non spoiler part. Now I'm going to give you a few seconds to get out of here if you don't want spoilers. It's not going to be very many, but there are a couple things I want to talk about. So, okay, I think they're gone. Ganon at the end. Yeah, okay, they're gone. Um, so still think this game's a 10. Story wise, though, I was not very happy with the end of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And this one, I thought I was going to be the same. There's a point in the game after you beat the four temples or areas, and open up all of them, and then you get the fifth one, or before you get the fifth one. There's a point after the fourth, before you get the fifth, that I was just frustrated. I was like, this is the dumbest thing ever. Like, you've told me nothing about the story. You've told me nothing about what's going on. And really, like, at the end of each of the temples, you get a cutscene of the new sage learning about the old sage. They're the same thing over and over again. That was poor writing. Like, why they did the same exact words for each one and not made each one unique in their own way is very frustrating to me. It would have taken a couple extra seconds to make each one its own separate thing. Like, perfect example, you go to the desert to where Ganon is from. He was the original king of that place. And when you get that sage, they say, well, he went into madness, so we betrayed him. You could have done more than just saying he went into madness, so they betrayed him. That doesn't make sense. I mean, it does, but it's such a like easy out, instead of being like, he did this and this is why you have to help Link beat him. Look at the destruction that he caused us. Like, but no, they went about it the easy way and they said, well, he was a bad guy, so we betrayed him. I was so excited for it. I was so excited to find out why. And then they let me down. They just offhanded it. Um, Other things, like when you're about to go fight, before you find out that there's a fifth sage, at that point I was just like, what the heck is even gonna happen right now? Like, this is ridiculous. Like, I was so frustrated. I was ready to put the game down. I'd spent all this time opening up all the depths, all the upper area, and I'd fought and experienced some of the world and like went around exploring, and then to just have the story like just slap me down. I was like, what the heck? So that was frustrating. And then I got found out about the fifth sage, and they kind of redeemed themselves at the end with the fifth stage, or the fifth sage's story. And I really do like the ending. It still doesn't give me what I want, which I want to know the end. Like, yeah, the end of this game ends with Zelda and them, getting ready to become the sages they were meant to be. But what happened after? Like, that's it. You leave me on like a precipice to figure out what happened in my own brain, which I'm not a fan of. You may be a fan of that, and I totally accept that a lot of people like it that way. They want to make up their own story in their brain. For me, I want a complete, finished story that ends. So, but really, all the frustration I had was very little in this game. Like, even though those two things that happened was nothing. It was nothing. The game was still great. Um, it was just frustrating at the time. And also, like the side quests, I get it. Like, old Nintendo games had really, really difficult side quests to follow, and you had to like write a booklet to figure it out. This is not like that, but it's pretty darn close. It's pretty darn close. And a lot of the side quests were not that great story wise. Like, I was hoping for it, but that's not what you come for a Zelda game. And so I understand that all these spoiler frustrations and irritations that I'm talking about, nothing to do with the game, because the game's about exploration. But for me, being a person who loves story games, that's what I'm looking for. So that's where I was irritated. So, yeah. And that's it. Let me know how you guys felt about the game. Let me know if you've beaten it. If you watched my spoilers part, let me know if you beat it and if you had the same irritations. Maybe you didn't. Maybe the game was perfect from beginning to end. Uh, I don't know, but let me know. Comment, subscribe. Also, before I go, um, let me know how you felt about the amiibos and if you got anything cool from the amiibos. Because like my girlfriend, she has like a booklet of them, so I used like 13 of them. I got some cool stuff. I got like a horse. I think I got Epona from or Epona, whichever one you want to say, from one of them. But yeah, let me know. And let me know how you like this. I tried to set it up in different like tiers of what I was going to talk about, but like I said, this is the first time doing it, so it may not come out the greatest. But yeah, let me know. Let me know what you think. And as always, bear hug. Love all you guys. Bye bye.